going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to wherever you're watching us on YouTube, this is your Nissan Nation podcast update, and I'm your host, David Boyd. So, I've been thinking a lot about the Nissan Pro4x badging, and it got me thinking that is it time to, does Nissan need to really take Pro4x seriously? I mean, I know they offered it in the Xterra, the Titan, and the Frontier, and yeah, there was slight upgrades to that, but is it time to really make it Pro4x your off-road name? And I say it is. I think that the Pro4x generally, in all the vehicles they put it in, is a bargain. You get a rear locker in it, you know, you're getting upgraded, you're getting a little bit more lift, generally a little bit taller tire, you're getting a little more lift in it. And I really think it's time for Nissan to take the Pro4x brand and really develop it. You could do it with Nismo's help. I'm not a fan of using Nismo in the truck world. I think Nismo really, I think you talk about motorsports and Nissan doesn't really do anything in the truck world anymore. You know, they used to in the 80s, they did a lot with the hard bodies and the 720s and stuff, but they really haven't done anything in the truck world for a long time. So in my mind, Nismo doesn't really bring much to the table as far as, you know, kind of a naming thing. But I think Pro4x, I think they've really created something there, you know, and I think it was 2010 or 11 when they started. They took the kind of off-road badging and turned it into Pro4x. And, you know, new logos and stuff. And I've said it on the podcast many times on the Titan currently. I am not a fan of the current Pro4x logo. I loved the latest version of the one they're still using on the Frontier, where it's the white, the yellow, and it pops. It's very youthful looking, but I think when they've kind of made this monotone reflective thing on the new Titan, they missed the mark. And of course, we'll start with Titan. Current Titan 16 through 19, we'll say, was kind of a mess for Nissan. Yeah, you got the typical things. You got the rear locker in it and the Bilstein shocks and all that. They missed the mark on tires, and if you've watched my review up here of the 17 we currently own, you'll see, like, I think they missed the mark bad on the tires. I think if you're gonna do something Pro4x, if you're gonna badge something off-road, you're gonna have to bite the bullet and you're gonna have to put a decent tire into this thing. Whether it be a Goodyear Duratrack or a BF Goodrich KO2 or even General makes, you know, they make a decent something better than what they're putting under the thing now. So you want Pro4x really needs to look off-road. You're selling it as an off-road package, so why not? So the Titan, to me, the logo missed the mark. It's just boring looking. And then the 16s through 17, they still had the goofy V8 badge where the kind of Cummins looking badge on the side that just took it away from looking sporty. And they finally did away with that for 18 through. But they were offering the initial stuff. They were offering like two tones in this truck, and once again, I'm sure. I mean, mine's a two-tone, and I hate the color of it, the gray on the bottom and the black on the top. But that's not what sold me on that truck. The interior is what sold me on it. But I really think that whoever seems like the final say on some of these things just misses the mark. They have a brand name there in Pro4x that they. To me, it's a hit. The name just says what it is, but they just sort of missed the mark, man. And whoever was in charge of the current Frontier when they did the Pro4x, they seemed to, I don't know, and it could be the same person, I don't know, but they just the Frontier defined Pro4x to me versus all the others. Even on Xterra, when they did Pro4x and Xterra, other than the goofy badging on the back of it, you would have never known that was a Pro4x, and the Mickey Mouse lights on the roof, man. They missed the mark by not putting Pro4x on the side of these things and really pushing what that package was. And I really think that, once again, I think Pro4x, it's time for it to be its own, it's almost not own brand, but it's its own thing, like very unique. And I think you've got Armada that is itching for a Pro4x version. Dad, you've got the Soccer Mom, you know, you've got the SL and the SVs and all this, the kind of luxury packages. But let's be honest, the Armada is built on a patrol. It's built on a patrol standard. Other than we don't get the cool lockers and stuff, it's pretty much a patrol. We don't. There's a couple things we don't get, but overall, It's not much. And I think if with overlanding being huge right now, you could really sell that. And we got to spend some time in what they did in 2018, what they called Snow Patrol, where they added bigger tires, a bit larger rims, and a front bumper and all that. So Armada really needs a Pro4X package, and I think that the refresh that we've seen all over the globe of the Armada doesn't really fit very well with the off-road look. So I don't know that if we get that in the States. I think the current Armada really looks well. I think you could update the gauge cluster in the center of it, or in the dash, and it'd still look pretty current. But now let's get to Titan Pro4X. Once again, I got to spend some. If you've watched it, bam, up here, look at it. That's the new 2020 Titan that we got to spend some time in, and we got to spend some time in the new Pro4X. And obviously, everybody is going crazy about the new kind of sandy tan color. I forget what they called it, some corporate name. But the color's a hit. But once again, the badging on the side of the truck just does not fit the exciting colors. You finally blacked out everything on the interior. You've really made Pro4X. You got the Nissan inside the burger is all red, and it's exciting. And then attention to detail. You just didn't go all the way through with it, and you left the same sticker on the side of the truck that screams old man to me. It doesn't scream youthfulness. And even though I think that in the Titan, the new with the updated engine with the 400 horsepower, I think that it's a great truck and it's a great package. But let's be honest, most people aren't taking their full size Titans heavy duty off roading. So yeah, I get it. It's kind of a package in name, and somebody might use the locker every once in a while, but that's not what that truck's about. But it takes us to Frontier. We all know that the Frontier is going to be refreshed, and they're supposed to show it sometime in 2020. We're going to be right on top of it as soon as they do, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure, for months on end, and we're hoping to be one of the first ones to actually own one of these things. But I'm really hoping that the next Pro4X in the Frontier is just a little more than some badging and a locker. I really think, once again, I think Pro4X is due. They're really due to make it exciting. And whether you like it or not, Toyota seems to know how to market their TRD program, and I think they make like 400 different TRDs now, so it's super confusing with what you get. TRD Pro, does theirs come with the snorkel or not? But I really think if they do a version of the Pro4X like this, man, something about Pro4X just appeals to me. So that's why I'm super excited about it. But does Nissan, do they have to offer a snorkel? Like do they just an expensive version? Do you take, you can get like a base kind of Pro4X with the locker and hopefully something a little bit better than just the normal bills they want to put under this thing. Do they offer in a Pro4X now, do they take and put some good tires under it, some BF Goodrich or even General, whatever General's offering, that's I forget what they call their whatever, more of an aggressive looking tire, something that people aren't going to want to go right from the buying the dealership right to their tire store to remove those and put something aggressive on there. Because your true off-road guy, or your guy that really wants that off-road look, Dear corporate, that's what they're doing. So by you saving $1 or $2 or whatever you're saving on not upping up with the better tire, you're just, the consumer's going, and you're adding cost to it, and those tires are going thrown away, or who knows what they're doing. So I would say there's a good 5 to 10% of that market that's already doing away with the tires you're putting under this thing. So I think they really do need to put good tires under it. Look at on the Colorado, the package, the ZR2 package, they're putting a Goodyear Duratrack under it, and everybody has a tire they like, so I get that, but that tire looks aggressive. The new BF Goodrich looks super aggressive. I'm not suggesting that you put a full mud tire under these things, because they still have to meet some sort of EPA standards, and we all know heavy mud tires aren't going to do that. But much like they do now in the Pro4X, you get a different wheel. And once again, this is the dumbest thing ever. Nissan, if you are going to put that wheel under the Pro4X, do not put it under a two-wheel drive version that you're calling a desert runner. So wheel package, make it very specific to all the levels, from Armada down, something aggressive, something cool looking. Titan, what you put under it now is not it. And I think you can do better. I think I'm a big fan of what they did on the last Xterra Frontier. Those rims initially didn't look great to me, but once you put an aggressive tire on it, man, they pop. Also, the interiors of these things, you're going to have to spend some money. I like leather, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's a lot of times it's just not a cost that I'm willing to to take on when buying a new vehicle. But stitching on these things, let's do some nice stitching on it that screams Pro4X. And I know they do that on some, but you really need some badges on the inside of this thing. And don't go goofy the way you have with the Titan right now, and where the Titan logo is all over the goofy thing. This isn't Jeep, guys. This is Nissan. But I think you take a Pro4X version. And back to, as we finish up with Frontier, we all know Frontier's coming. It needs a partner. And do they take and make some sort of SUV? I'm not saying Xterra, because even though I'm a fanboy of it, I'd love to see it come back. I don't think that nameplate's coming back. But let's put Patrol. Let's do a small Patrol here in the States. Whether it be a 2-door or 4-door. I think a 2-door SUV in that, if it's a little larger like the previous Patrol was, I think you'd sell quite a few of it. And do a Pro4X version of that. Because us in the States, we know Pro4X. That's my thoughts on it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you a fan of the Pro4X? Do you see Nissan? Do you think that they need to offer something? And don't come to me and go, hey, straight axle, solid axle, these things, guys, because that's never going to happen. But what features would you like to see in a Pro4X? So drop them down in the comments below. And once again, if you would like and subscribe this, anytime you smash that like button, it just helps us independent guys get back up into the analytics of YouTube. They like to push the big guys, your car and driver, and all those people who are boring and nobody wants to listen to, because they don't understand your favorite brand like us fanboys, us super fans, as I like to be, or they like to call me, do. So from all things Nissan here in my office to wherever you're watching us on YouTube, this has been your Nissan Nation podcast update, and we've been talking Nissan Pro4X. Peace.